1, 2. We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Death Battle Cast. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm joined by Chad, Liam, and it's Samuel. What's up, Samuel?
Not much. I'm here. Austin and I both had house problems today. My master bathroom, the bath I took last night drained into the garage. That's not supposed to happen. So,
and both my cars are out of commission.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of shit. Well, good luck with that, Sam. Plumbing's the worst.
Yeah, I might have to run away for 5 minutes to go talk to a plumber in the middle of this, but I don't think so. We told them not to show up from noon to 1, but you know how these people work. So.
What if it's Mario?
I mean, can you imagine? You think they'd get sued if like a plumber was like, "Hey, we're the Mario Brothers plumbing, and we actually just dress in red and green uniforms"? Like, they get sued?
There's gotta be. Somebody's gotta have done that.
Somebody's gotta have found a way.
I mean, if they did it right now because it's close to Halloween, I would definitely just 5-star them regardless of their service because that would be sick. Totally. But yeah. Anyways, plumbing aside.
Now we have to know, Chad, if there's a real Mario Brothers plumbing.
Oh, wait. It is. I can see everybody wants this, so we should start off and remember this is week 3 of Skeletober Skelebration.
I was gonna welcome back to Skeletober Skelebration. It's gotta come back in. It's gotta come back in every time I say it.
Every time? Okay.
Every single time.
It's like TOC again?
Yes. So, as usual with Skeletober Skelebration.
You keep catching me off guard when I'm looking elsewhere.
We are going to have a very spooky matchup today. We have some this time we're kind of diving into some comic book characters, but maybe not the classics you're familiar with, as we are bringing in kind of Satan equivalents.
It's not exactly what you would expect for Skeletober Celebration.
So somebody,
like Skeletober Celebration
in the pre-stream of this episode, somebody had said like, I'm not even convinced these people have skeletons, and I was like, that's fair. I'm not either.
That's a big requirement for Skeletober Celebration.
Yeah, the one requirement for Skeletober Skelebration. You got to do it twice now because Liam said it as well.
I said it like 5 times, by the way.
Okay, you got to do it like 5 times.
Whatever. I'm just rolling them back to back, y'all. We'll just keep it going.
There you go. This is our new watermark. It's just like this over the whole episode.
Yes, the only requirement is that they must have skeletons, and these do not. Well, they might.
Dormammu has a skull.
Is it a bone skull though? Because I don't think it is.
It's not a bone skull. It is not a bone skull.
It's like an energy. Yeah.
He looks kind of like Ghost Rider MVC for that. I don't know why they went with that design because he doesn't look like that anywhere else. But that's fine.
He's what Ghost Rider wants to be when he grows up.
Yeah,
what Dormammu
there we go.
Is, basically.
So yeah, if you didn't catch on, we are doing Dormammu versus Trigon, or if you didn't, read the fucking title of the thing you're watching.
Wow.
Ben's got heat
all right.
This is Dormammu from Marvel versus Trigon from DC. The devilish entities who want to come to Earth and just wreck shit up.
Yeah.
So today we are gonna have Liam. You're doing
Liam Dormammu.
Dormammu, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to guess.
Liam will be representing Dormammu. Sam will be representing Trigon. It is up to them to.
Let me be straight here. I am representing Trigon with notes from Jacob.
There we go.
So give all credit goes to Jacob on any facts here because that's all Jacob.
It is going to be their job to convince us who should win in a fight by whatever means they decide. And the ones who will decide who wins will be you watching this and listening to this right now. At the end of the stream, if you're watching this live, we do this Tuesday at noon p.m. Central Time every Tuesday. There will be a poll at the end of the stream, and you will be able to vote on who you think should win. All right. With that being said, who do we start with?
Well, I think
Who's
first we
right?
should mention that we do have a sneak peek for Joker Giorno. I don't know if we show
yeah.
it now, but we do
We'll
have
show it
one.
later
I was
on.
wondering. Yeah.
We'll show it
Gotta
later
make it
on. But
watch.
yes,
Yeah.
we do have a little something to show off for the next death battle, which is Joker versus Giorno.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's start off with Dormammu, because people are familiar with Dormammu.
Yeah.
Maybe most recently because of the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah,
How
from
long
the
was that? Was
movie.
that a decade ago? How long did that Doctor Strange movie
8
come
years
out?
ago.
Oh
That was
my
8 years
God.
ago.
Easy Pete's.
I know.
Okay, he's the bargain guy at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to this cast today because Dormammu is a character that I've known about, seen a little bit of, but really don't know a lot about. And so like, but he looks really interesting and cool. So like, I'm very excited to learn today.
Both these
All right,
figures are
Liam.
oddly important to their like the DC and Marvel universes, but very on the fringe.
Yeah.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Liam, who's Dormammu
So
and how's he
you
gonna
wanna-
win?
Oh, wrong 60
That's
seconds.
not-
Sorry.
It's
Max is back.
160
No, he's not.
60 years.
That one.
there you go.
Dormammu is a Hell Lord. He is one of the multitude of Marvel's Satan figures, and excluding perhaps the one below all, because we're still sort of figuring him out, he is the most powerful. He is more powerful definitively than somebody like Mephisto, who's, I think, more generally well known. Dormammu is a being made of magic. He is connected to, he is one with the dark dimension, which is this like infinitely sized reality of fucking evil. He is made of evil and chaos, and his goal is to take over all of reality through a variety of different ways. He is unbelievably powerful. He is basically Doctor Strange's like greatest enemy, and he is one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel Comics. He is virtually undefeatable. He can do basically anything with his magic. I don't think that there's any way that Trigon could definitively defeat him.
All right.
We have a counter on how many times you said powerful in that 60-second rendition.
Yeah.
Lot of
He's
power.
also not exact. I mean, he's kind of like he is in the movie, but I'll address some of the like.
It seems
things
like he's
about the
represented
movie.
very differently every time we see him in any sort of mainstream media, whether it's cartoons or movies or video games.
It's
Okay.
funny that he is like just a regular character in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because he's definitely like he should be able to fight Galactus very
Galactus
evenly
is the final
as, like, a
boss of that game,
Yeah.
right?
I know. It does not make sense that
should
Dormammu,
Dormammu just snap him away? Like, I guess not
he
snap
would
him
be
away,
able to
but-
fight Galactus very, very easily.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we know a little bit about Dormammu,
Trigon?
let's talk about Trigon. Never mind. Let's talk about Trigon. Hey, who Trigon? Why Trigon?
Trigon, he is a devil and a father. More particularly, he's, I guess, just referred to as a demon. But yeah, he is the father of Raven, and he's ultra powerful. He's taken on just about everybody in the Justice League. Like, I mean, he has defeated Wonder Woman and Superman and Zatanna. And keep in mind, Zatanna defended against like things like Parala before the existence of God. You know, characters like that do weird, wild shit. And he's just somehow a lot stronger than him. I mean, he can do stuff like, he doesn't like kill people, but he, disperses their atoms into the light stream, keeping them alive forever and in agony. He's that kind of guy.
Oh,
That's Trigon, you know?
Sam's giving some time back. I love the fact that Liam's was basically like ultra powerful. We don't maybe as powerful as the one below all, and then Sam was just like, he's a devil and a father.
I think one of the best
Dormammu's
ways
not
to
a parent, right? He's not Dormammu, right?
Yeah, Dormammu.
Dormammu, he maybe is a parent. They all have spawn. He created Satanish. I know that.
Okay.
I don't know if he's like a Dormammu or
I don't know who that
Dormammu
is.
or Fafu father. I don't know. One of the best ways I've heard Trigon described is that if Darkseid is lawful evil, Trigon is chaotic evil within DC. That's
Okay.
how you would distinguish them.
It's
He's a
it's the devils
huge
versus
dick.
demons thing. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Gremlin gifted out 10 Death Battle memberships. So hey, if you got one, say hi in the chat and go check
Give
out our
Gremlin a
membership
shout out.
content. And then Spooky Fairy Gelatin Man. If Dormouse Guy is stronger than Mephisto and Mephisto is comparable to Galactus, then that means he's stronger than Unicron.
He is stronger than Unicron. I would
There you go.
definitively say that Dormammu is stronger
Okay.
than Unicron.
There we
Alright.
go. No need for
And
that death
Mud
battle.
Lick
That was
Professor
never a
Marvel,
question.
It's just not like fair.
I mean, yeah, Trigon 2 is also like Raven states that he literally destroys galaxies for fun. His torn universes apart, like physically,
Yeah,
which
so,
doesn't
like-
make a lot of sense, but he
So
still does it.
Is
I'm
this
also gonna like offer this. I'm gonna offer a rule here.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
just like a rule of this
I was
of how
actually
this
just about
fight is
to
gonna
ask
work.
about how we want to approach this, so go
Yep.
for it.
Yeah, so both of them are unique in that, like, obviously Dormammu and Trigon are not constantly threatening Earth. They're not always there, even though that's their goal. It's because they are, like, tied to the dimensions that they come from. Trigon, like, it's a big plot point that he needs several mystical things to happen in order to come to Earth, and Dormammu is the same, where he is like most powerful in the dark dimension, and he like the way that if he tries to just cross over into other universes, he gets weaker, but if he merges them with the dark dimension, he can be at full strength and part of Earth, which is what he did one time. I recommend that they just take place in like the Earth universe, but with both of their home dimensions like merged in. So it's like kind of
Sure.
like a Mickey Mouse ears
So
kind
we
of
don't
thing.
limit them to however they're gated away from
Yeah.
the Earth or the material plane or whatever. Because
Yeah.
well, just to make it clear, just in case there is some sort of like weakness that you're trying to gloss over here.
Sure.
Trigon's like specifically sealed away intentionally, right? Like, didn't they like banish him? He was banished by the Azarathians or something like that into an evil dimension or something like that.
Yes.
Yes.
What's Dormammu's situation? Why is he separate?
Dormammu is the dark dimension. He is so powerful because originally Dormammu and his sister Umar are Faultines. They came from like the Faultine dimension, which is, if you know Doctor Strange stuff, when he uses the flames of the Faultine, which is like this spell, which is just magical fire. I don't know. It's like, what does it need a name? They're like magical beings. They're made of magic. They have they have physical bodies. They're spiritual beings. But they wanted to like take over everything and be evil. So they were banished from the Faultine dimension. They wandered a bit and then they found the dark dimension. They took it over. And then Dormammu physically like merged with the dark dimension. So even though he has like a magical body that you can see and interact with, he is one with the dark dimension. So he can send his like body out into other universes, but his power is lesser and it'll fade if he's far away from like the core of his power. Kind of like Pennywise, actually.
Yeah.
kind of like Pennywise.
I was like,
Um,
this is sounding a little bit familiar, but
Interesting.
Yeah.
so he's in the
but
dark
he
dimension
can-
because he's happy there and he
Yeah.
likes to chill there, right? Not that
Yeah, and
he's
he can
been
merge
banished.
the dark dimension with Earth. So it's not like it's
Yeah.
a thing that's like impossible. You have to go to the dark dimension to fight him.
Gotcha.
He can merge it. So it is like there is an avenue.
So one was
Trigon-
banished into an alternate dimension. The other one is that dimension essentially.
Yeah. And Trigon does have some similarities. Like he can possess people's bodies in, whatever universe, right? And he can create portals to drag people to him. He can do a lot of like soul manipulation stuff. But yeah, for his physical being, he does need some like special setup to show up, right?
Okay.
But his powers can still
Yeah.
reach
Now,
there in really
again,
meaningful
devil's
ways.
bargain, right? Reaching
Yeah.
out to the existing mortal
Yeah.
plane and making deals and whatnot.
Uh,
Also, shout out to Gilda Data in chat. Everybody in chat was also saying this. Apparently, it's Gilda Data's birthday. So
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you
And
for
also-
being here. Then thank you to all our members for being here live. Love seeing all those badges going up. There are so many at this point of the like 2-year like black
it's
and gold
crazy.
badges. They're so
Yeah.
freaking cool. So thank you all for all the support.
And Grave King and 25th gifted out memberships. Thanks, y'all. I was just thinking, because when you mentioned soul manipulation, I was about to ask the question again. I want to make some dumb asset that's just like time to play. Do they have a soul? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, that would be such a good like little cutaway for maybe next year's
that's funny.
Skeletober Skelebration.
Like 80s game show asset kind of. That'd be really fun.
Skeletober Celebration.
Yeah, which I was gonna ask that too, because if
Sam.
Oh god damn it!
Skeletober Skelebration.
If
he's 4 times now.
Well, no, I'm trying to think about all this Trigon. Does Dormammu have a soul?
I don't know. I think that like,
or is
I
he
think
soul?
I think he is soul. Like he is a being that is made of magic, like higher dimensional. Sorry, you have to, but it's what it is. Higher dimensional magical energy. So like, I don't think he has a soul in the same sense that we have a soul, but that's what he is. Like he can make a physical body, but his physical body, his essence was once dispersed over dozens of dimensions and realities, and he just reformed. So like, you can't do any physical damage to him that would matter.
Yeah,
which I think is not.
Trigon have a soul?
Well, see, that's the thing. Trigon has a lot of other people's souls for sure. And assumably he does have his own, because it is mentioned he bolsters himself with other souls, so assumably he would have to have like a first soul to bolster.
Original soul.
Maybe I don't know. It's hard to, it's really hard to say, and also it kind of depends on I guess your like interpretation. Is this like a Judeo-Christian soul or not? But
well, Raven's whole thing is her soul self, so I feel like in the comics
it makes
there
sense.
has to be a mention of Trigon's soul. Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah,
but
maybe. I mean, Raven's soul self is her connection to him through her human side or Azarathian side. So I don't know if it necessarily applies in the same way. I mean, Trigon was formed from like evil. Like he's literally like evil made up monster man, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that his origin?
Yeah.
The Azarathians like purged their evil from their beings to be all.
So
he's the
soul of evil.
So I don't know if that would necessarily like be a soul.
Yeah.
Does evil exist as a soul itself? Or is he just literally evil personified? And he gets souls because he's a devil man. That's how it works, right?
For what it's worth,
devil man.
Dormammu is also described as like a conceptual being at this point, since he is like merged with the dark dimension. He is like he is chaos. He is like his concept is chaos. He is like often a representative or on the same side as Lord Chaos, who is like a abstract being in Marvel. In fact, he and Odin was a representative of Lord of Master Order. They got into a cosmic chess game and they like stalemated because order and chaos are in perfect balance. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. So they are all like super powerful entities in alternate dimensions who are the embodiments of chaos and evil and being all dark and shit. How are they actually going to fight? Like
That's exactly what I was about to ask. Yeah, we shooting lasers. Is this like what's happening?
How do they? I think more so like how do they kill each other? Because I don't think either one of them have like a physical body that matters.
Yeah. Before we get into the how do they kill each other, because that feels like a kind of a climactic argument that we would save for like
it's just 11, like one argument, like
how do they battle?
49 and ish.
Yeah.
Here are some of his powers. So yeah, Dormammu is a Doctor Strange villain. He is like has sorcery magic. He has magic. He is composed of raw magical energy. I'm just gonna list this shit off.
What does that mean? Composed of raw magical energy.
He's magic. He is like magical energy given form.
Do others have magic because of his existence?
Yes, he can bestow magic to other people.
Not all magic is dependent on his existence.
No. When Doctor Strange was doing the Flames of the Faltine, I believe that this was... I remember because I was doing Fate versus Strange research like years and years ago. I believe that there was an arc where Strange was using the Flames of the Faultine and then realized that he had been drawing from Dormammu this entire time and had been empowering Dormammu in some way to like break into Earth by overusing the Flames of the Faultine. He had like didn't realize whose power he was drawing from.
My God, Cody in chat does confirm Dormammu is Dormammu. He has a kid called Doyle.
Right.
Why is his name Doyle?
You know, it's one of those like evil parent, like forged in flames things. It's like the story of a boy named Sue, right? He's like, give him a terrible name, he gets made fun of, and then you know, he'll
no
be
offense to anybody named Doyle out there, but Doyle Dormammu just sounds so silly to me.
Doyle, maybe it's Doyle Mamu.
Oh yeah, there you
Liking
go.
That.
Vamulator, thanks for the 10 gifted, man.
Okay, so he can banish people to different dimensions. He can astrally project and fight as like a spirit, I guess. Then he has like I guess astral projection is not necessarily your soul, but whatever. He can transmute matter. He can teleport interdimensionally. He can control the elements. He can summon. He like in the dark dimension, he has like tons of like these magical goblin beings that are his like servants. He can travel through time. He can change his size. Can turn intangible. He's of course immortal. He can shoot energy, magical spells. He can absorb energy. He has psionic abilities like telepathy and telekinesis. He can warp reality to his fullest extent. Resurrect the dead.
Quick question on the energy absorption thing. Is it just so like it goes into him and he negates it, or is it one of those things that he gets more powerful?
He gets more powerful.
Okay.
He can draw onto it to make himself stronger.
All right, continue. You were on Raise the Dead.
Yeah. Notably, his spells cannot be easily reversed, even by his sister Umar, who is another being in the dark dimension. She's not quite as powerful, but she is enough that like her fighting him is a threat. Also, because he is like a conceptual entity, he doesn't have, even though he looks like a big flaming skull thing, he doesn't look the same to everyone. He doesn't appear the same to everyone. It makes it impossible for groups of enemies, I'm quoting here, to attack him simultaneously, as their attacks would, quote, shriek in disharmony. So he's like literally like so conceptually different to each, or so conceptually unique to each person that group attacks don't work on him because you're each fighting a completely different thing.
I do think in that specific case, Trigon is specifically, like, it's stated that he's able to sense power emanating across all realities. So I think he would have like a good hold on that. He'd
have a crystal clear image of what Dormammu looks like, right?
He's a being similar to Dormammu. He's unable to be bound or sealed or have his powers nullified. There was this magic bullet that was being used on different sorcerers and being like they were being shot. It did not work on him. It depowered them. It did not depower him at all. He was just too much beyond it. He once outlawed dreaming in the dimensions that he ruled. So that even like daydreaming would cause physical pain, so that you'd be like,
okay.
How will I fuck with people today? I know.
He was able to take Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto, that thing on his chest, and use it despite it having, quote, an infinite number of security enchantments on it.
And who said that it had an infinite number of security enchantments?
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And to be clear, and this is something I kind of want to address, to people that only know him from the movies, the Eye of Agamotto in the movies is like a container for the Time Stone. That's not what it is in the comics. In the comics, it's a mystical like artifact that does tons and tons of different magical things. It's like a key part of his arsenal, but it doesn't do a Time Stone thing. And Dormammu in the comics would not be affected by a time loop. He would just warp reality and have no problem with it whatsoever. He can also merge with other Dormammus to become more powerful. As in, other Dormammus from alternate timelines can all just sort of get together and merge into and like keep amplifying. They can fusion dance to continually get more and more powerful, which I think is actually pretty fucking crazy.
From alternate timelines? Okay.
Yeah.
Are there multiple
Cool.
Trigons?
I'm sure in the sense of timelines, but in the sense of like universe 6160 kind of stuff, like there is just one Trigon because he observes all realities. I mean, it said all realities, so maybe that includes timelines. I'm not sure.
Maybe he's just multi-present in all of those. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like we already compared them to Unicron, right? The kind of Unicron idea where all Unicrons, or at least used to be, all Unicrons used to be the same Unicron. I kind of wonder.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Gremlin says that she may hate her dad. Raven may hate her dad, but at least she's not named Doyle. And then we've got a Umar shook the multiverse through Hulk. All right. And
Yeah,
then,
well, okay.
Oh.
I mean, Raven might not be Doyle.
We talked about Umar in Hulk versus Broly, right?
Yeah, yep. The sex feat, the infamous sex feat. I just want to add one thing. Like, okay, yeah, Doyle is a stupid name, but Raven is literally named after a bird. Okay, and anybody.
It's a good name though.
It's a cool bird.
That's a cool, yeah.
No, you can't have a name that is a bird, whether it be a first or a last name. That's fucking stupid. Anybody that does anybody that's like that is dumb.
What is this oddly specific hang up you have?
Yeah, this is insane.
I mean,
I'm doing a
how
bit,
many
guys.
people in chat are you?
Yeah, I know.
We're bird.
With a bird for a name is dumb. I'm play along. It's a bit.
Yes, and
no, it's because his last name is Swan.
Yeah. Oh, goddamn, that took a while. Fuck. Oh shit.
What's your name? What's your name again? Raven Swan.
Yeah.
Liam Doyle.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Doyle, I think we've talked quite a bit about Dormammu. Let's talk a little bit about Trigon, and what he's going to be bringing to this. So outside of being super evil and trying to use Raven, who does have a badass name, to warp himself over to Earth, what is he doing? What is Trigon bringing to this?
Powers wise, like I feel like it is a little hard to conceptualize them because, like I said, like I mean, he does things like I think a good example is the dispersing a target's atoms into the light stream. Like he kind of and even with that, like I mean, it's it's an old like Silver Era superhero called Scion, I believe, but yeah, like the things he's able to do are like, I mean, he does have classic eye laser beams and blasts people sometimes, but usually he just kind of vanishes people away or banishes them to a different kind of world. There are instances like especially in the 80s Teen Titans where he kind of appears more of like a pentagram in the sky, and I'm looking at the image right here. I'm not going to do that because I might screw it up. But he, in one laser, seemingly defeats Green Lantern, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, another Wonder Woman. Why are there two? Cyborg, The Flash. So like, he can do the classic like boom laser, but it seems that a lot of his powers are more so
vanish or atomize or that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
when it comes to fighting mortals or like
demigods, and I mean he can
Wonder Woman.
Most like even a lot of superheroes. I don't have an example of it being someone like mainstream though. Just like he can say like take a knee and they just have to do it. He has a lot of control over people. He also, a big thing he does is he eats / siphons souls, where he has done this to an entire universe before. Although he did state he did it one by one. I don't know why, but that's a fact. He did eat an entire universe's souls one by one.
It, Sam.
Yeah,
he was savoring it.
So
he can also use that. So he also does use soul powers for a lot of things. Like that is, in some instances, what allows him to travel is consuming enough souls. It does keep him alive if for some reason, his body is like destroyed or lost to him. He can sustain without a body as an energy entity by consuming souls, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or he's got his backup souls so he can still exist, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
so
Yeah, and I mean, when he was sealed away, for instance, like he did break that. He says he absorbed billions of souls to break it.
Okay.
You know.
So
Also, each soul
I'm
makes them more
curious
powerful.
what their intents are, like in terms of their whole goal is to get into Earth's dimension and conquer it or eat it or whatever, right? So when Dormammu arrives in the mortal plane, like what's he doing? What is he gonna do? Does he just like absorb all the souls, or does he destroy everything? Like, how does that work?
Conquer it, rule it, kill a bunch of people indiscriminately, put Doctor Strange in like humiliating bondage garb and like kick him and slap him and shit.
Okay, and is he just like warping reality around him, or does he have a specific power that lets him do this?
Yeah, he can warp reality. There's a panel where he merges Earth with the Dark Dimension, and he's just like, and like buildings are like swirling and shit, and he's like making it all evil.
Weird Mageddon, got it.
The king now.
So he just can kind of command whatever reality he has dominion over. So,
yes,
sounds like with the dreams thing you mentioned before.
It's not the only time he's done that. He merged with he's challenged and defeated Eternity before, and Eternity is like the embodiment of an individual Marvel universe. Like he is all of time and space. This is also an argument for why he's like, just for speed feat nerds, like he's immeasurably fast. If you can fight Eternity, who himself describes like things like distance and time as like meaningless sort of concepts, lower geometry to him, he's immeasurably fast. You can defeat Eternity, and he once defeated Eternity and then merged with, like, he went into like the multiverse and he merged with Eternity. He like absorbed his powers and became like Dormammu Eternity. And then he went into the Marvel multiverse, the greater Marvel multiverse, and went, I'm just gonna like start consuming universes. So he went into a universe and then just merged with it. And Sam, this is Dormammu 2.
Okay.
So he just merged with, it's Earth 5113.
Let me just shrink
and
that a little.
it's literally called
Independent Death Battle right here, everybody.
Dormammuverse now. There is just a universe out there called the Dormammuverse, where it's just he is the universe, which isn't too surprising considering he is like the nation. So his big thing is like merging with like either higher powerful beings, like defeating them and then absorbing their power and making it his, or going into like alternate realities and merging with them and becoming like part of that.
Yeah, Smell,
You're going
when,
with the
when Liam
merge
said Dormammu 2, I was like, there's 2 of them. Well, that's the image.
The
Also,
image
the chat has given us some answers to some of our previous questions, so
Yes.
I can fire those off quick. For Gelatin Man, thank you for the 5. Vamulator says Trigon is like Darkseid or Zeus and stands outside normal existence. But the best confirmation that we've got, Banana says that in both cases for Raven and Doyle, they were named by their mothers. That Kindrex fired off some memberships, appreciate you. And then I think, and then Gelatin Man, Trigon is shown to have alternate universe versions as seen in Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go, where Go Trigon.
Vord is a strange verb to
the other
use,
because he
sure.
was mean. So
Yeah,
he's
you
the
know,
other one.
because
He
he
does
does
have
have
multiple
more, right?
versions.
Saying just absorbed, devoured.
Yeah.
Devoured.
Yeah.
And I also mentioned that Dormammu fights to end an adversary, whereas Trigon goes the suffer route until his adversary reaches
Taps
a point
out.
or
Yeah.
showcases a level of power that can match him, and then he's like, "All right, time to fuck you up." I also wanted to mention, oh my god, Donkey Long, I believe in chat said earlier, why does everybody keep wanting to conquer Earth? It sucks here.
Yeah.
Like what?
Especially right now, dude.
I know. It's
important-
DC and Marvel.
is.
They like determined.
Yeah.
They've excused this as Earth is now like the core of the universe or whatever. But it's that always seems to be the default like excuse.
Yeah, I mean, like Trigon is. We're gonna use the new verb Vord, a billion souls in an entire universe elsewhere, but he's like interested in just Earth. It's like, what are you doing, bud? I mean, I guess it's
Demonetize us?
cause his
Is Vora a
daughter. No.
demonetizable
I don't know.
No
Stop
way.
saying it.
I
No
guess
way.
we'll find
Keep saying
out.
it.
But yeah, it's just kind of like I guess for some instances for Trigon, it's also about the fact that his daughter is here, right? Like that is an interest point in it. Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, his daughter's Raven's here intentionally, right? Oh no. She was sent here by the Azarathians.
But
right?
remember, her mother is a human, so Trigon impregnated her to get a way to get to Earth.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
it is
so mean.
I tried, Gremlin. I tried.
Maybe it's because they put her here because Earth is the most cosmically defendable planet, I guess.
Lots of souls, lots of powerful souls.
Yeah, it's got a concentration of super people.
Superman's there, so she'll be fine.
Yeah, right? There is one time, just to like kind of, I think this does, although it is from older like 80s comics, there is a character in DC called the Monitor who, this is a shocker, monitors all things. Anyways, the Monitor has a real over 9,000 power level moment with specifically Trigon, where for some reason they get a rating of over 800 in Illinois. And so the Monitor states like that is either the Spectre or Trigon. That's the only people that are that strong.
What's Trigon doing in Illinois?
Illinois, yeah.
It's just where he shows up, man. You ever been there? It's a real
you mean
devil
when you're
state,
driving
you know?
through the nothing?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Who else can we offend here? We've offended all Doyles, all bird name people, all Illinois people.
Oh, sorry. No, it's Louisiana. That makes so much more sense.
Oh, well, now we dunked on Illinois for no reason.
Sorry, Illinois. It's Louisiana. I had to double check.
Trigon's there to party, dude. You know Trigon's at Mardi Gras doing some questionable things.
Probably. Okay.
While you're there, Trigon, can you fix the fucking roads? Sorry. Anybody who's driven through Louisiana, it's hell.
Louisiana is.
We will get to the sneak peek in just a little bit, everybody. We will share that in just a little bit. But I still don't know how this, like, how they're actually going. Does this fight ultimately boil down to the two of them show up in the Earth dimension, in Earth 616 or whatever, or wherever they're fighting, and they just try to reality warp each other out of existence,
or absorb each other, because that was what Liam said. Yeah,
absorb.
Yeah. God damn it.
I do kind of think it is really weird because it kind of depends on if Dormammu has a soul. It depends on the matter Dormammu may or may not be based out of, because like a big thing of like Trigon too is just matter manipulation. In it seems to be like, I mean, he turns, just being in his presence can turn people to stone, including like Superman gets turned to stone by him, right? Like he isn't just like turning Joe Schmo into stone. It's fucking Superman, right?
Once turned the Hulk into crystal. It's like he has the same kind of like.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so hard because I don't think we can really know what Dormammu is made of. Does he have a soul? Like if Dormammu has like that base level soul, then I think Trigon's got a really good chance of just ripping it out of him.
Wait, okay, hang on. but Trigon's got to be able to take on characters who don't have souls, right? Like not everybody in DC universe is gonna have a soul. So what does he do against that? Does he just?
Well, that's also then it comes down to, are they made of matter? And then he just sends their matter to the light stream.
He atomizes them. Yeah. Like, okay.
That wouldn't.
Well, is
specifically
the
that
dark
is one
dimension
like
made of matter? Is there matter within the dark dimension? Could he send an entire dimension into the light stream?
Sending the dimension in the light stream is just like that's not like a thing that would matter to Dormammu at all. Like he can have his essence like dispersed entirely. He's like a conceptual being. He's like an abstract being. He isn't like the matter that makes up his body. He's, like I said, he's made of raw magical energy that is like bound by a concept. He isn't like, you can disperse his body. He had his body dispersed over dozens of realities, and it didn't. He just reformed his body. It doesn't. The light stream stuff doesn't matter. It's just not gonna matter.
The light stream specifically doesn't kill people. It just keeps them in agony and undeath forever. So it really doesn't work in a death battle anyway.
Well, as Smelt asked in the chat, if Dormammu is made of magic, does that mean Trigon can manipulate him? Can manipulate that magic?
That's like one of those things weird. I do want to point out that Ghost Raptor in the chat said that Booster Gold Shield took a hit from Trigon. Yes.
Aren't you arguing for Trigon?
No, what
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying
that's
though
what-
here is like there's one thing that also makes this aspect kind of challenging is something you pointed out before, like Trigon's intent is often not to kill you, it's to make you suffer. And that's why he does stuff like turn Superman to stone, so Superman knows that things are being destroyed that he cares about around him and he can't do anything about it, right?
Okay.
It's not oh, I want to defeat Superman, it's I want Superman to suffer, so that's what he does. And the same thing with like I'm not saying he wasn't surprised by Booster Gold, because I think all of us always are surprised that Booster Gold is as powerful as he is. But typically his intent isn't to shoot lasers at somebody and kill them. It's to make them suffer, run away, leave them alone. And so I think that kind of plays into it a lot too, where you don't typically see Trigon intentionally just being like, I am going to end your life. He would much rather do something like spread your atoms across light stream that keeps you alive and in agony for eternity. Like that is his MO.
I mean, it sounds like that's
Dormammu would
kind
just
of
pop out of that. Like he wouldn't like.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that, but I'm just like that's an example of like how he deals with people.
Gotcha.
It's very, very rarely that he's I am going to kill you. It's I'm going to make you suffer.
It sounds like Dormammu is pretty similar in that regard. Like he's conquering Earth to put Doctor Strange in bondage gear or whatever the hell's going on there. So,
Yeah, was that
Liam said it?
That's my improvisation.
Okay. Well, see, and that's the thing about comics. I literally was like 50-50 on if that was a Liam improv or if like he's got a panel, right?
Well, especially older comics. Yeah. They be getting freaky.
He wants
in
to
the
conquer
80s.
all of reality. That's why he defeated. That's why he fights Eternity, because Eternity is all of reality, and he wants that, and he wants to control that.
Okay, so he's been able to fight Eternity. Is there an equivalent type of entity that Trigon's fought? Like somebody who is literally larger than life?
There are people talking about it. For instance, the Monitor, again, I believe it's the Monitor, does say that if he is to end up fighting the Spectre, it's likely going to destroy everything. But I don't have a list on here of being similar to that level that he actually has fought. I mean, minus Raven, obviously. There's something to be there. In Raven
I mean, Raven is literally channeling his power with her with a lot of magic.
Raven has overwhelmed specifically it's noted as Jim Corrigan's Spectre, which is not the original one. It's the man that takes on the Spectre for quite some time. But Raven has overpowered the Spectre with Trigon's power, and like the Spectre is certainly one of the strongest things in the DC universe, which is saying a lot.
Jim Corrigan is the first like comic book like Spectre. Like the Spectre is a being that like chronologically exists before this, but like the first appearance of the Spectre in comic books is using Jim Corrigan as a host.
Yeah.
He's like the first one.
Okay.
Hey, real quick though, while we don't have a sponsor for today's episode, we got a lot of people watching. I need to tell you, fill out your Kickstarter surveys, please, for the love of God. We still have a good handful of surveys that have not been filled, and we would really, really, really like to get you guys' stuff as quickly as we can. And we need people to put in things like t-shirt sizes before we can order t-shirts. So pretty soon we're gonna have to set up a time where it's like, hey, past this date, if you fill out your survey past that, your t-shirt size isn't guaranteed. And then way down the line, we'll have to do a thing. If we don't have your survey, eventually we can't keep that stuff here forever. So send that stuff out. Check your email and make sure it's the email that's associated with your Kickstarter account. And then tell all of your friends to check their emails.
Yeah, because we have to make those shirts. So we need to know the size before we can order the shirts. So please fill them out.
I sew them with my bare hands.
Yeah, Liam's, we got him a nice little singer because it felt thematic, and he's just going to sew them all up.
I have a silk gland like silkworms, and I produce the web out of not my anus, but
I'm running an ad to get us out of that line as soon as possible. Nope. Okay. So,
Coach Raptor pointed out Trigon fought. Why did I say fighted? God, my brain is terrible. Trigon did fight
everything that just happened
Mixel
there.
Spitalik in Injustice, which is interesting. But Injustice,
Oh,
obviously,
really?
Kind of
but it's Injustice.
alternate timeline, but still,
Wait, sorry. Say that one more time. What happened in Injustice?
Apparently, according to one of our wonderful chatters, Trigon fought Mixospitalik. I can never say it right.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. He's up there. Yeah. And he's fought Darkseid. Yeah, as Wrestling Bum mentions in the chat. Perfect timing. Okay, so sounds like this one it would be extremely complex to actually dive in for a full death battle. So let's start thinking about. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to remind people, especially all of our new members and returning members, we're gonna have our first fireside chat tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
We forgot it last week, so we pushed it a week. We're not forgetting this week to tell y'all.
Good call. We'll mention that later on as well. Okay, so let's start. Everybody start thinking about like what we have here for Trigon versus Dormammu. We'll get to pull up in a little bit, but we'll get to our final arguments in just a bit as well. But while we're thinking about that, I think now is a good time to check out the sneak peek for the upcoming episode of Joker versus Giorno. Let's check this out.
Let's check it out.
Gold experience!
Go, are set! Giorno Giovanna, your heart is twisted. It is ours to take.
Shoki, don't touch me. My dreams aren't yours to take.
Persona! He'll never see it coming.
I feel the truth written in your heart, written in the stars. A soul shining gold against.
I love the
All
colors
right.
of that fight.
Oh my god,
it's so cool.
dude! Like, you guys haven't even seen half of the crazy like visuals that happen in this fight. It's so much fun.
It's very good.
The team has really put in a lot of hard work making it really stylized and fit both characters really well.
Yeah. Our editors Max and DJ are just like, they're really pulling out all the stops. Even just like this season has been quick for us to get going and running, but thanks to them and obviously our animators too, like I'm still just so surprised we're like delivering these episodes. I'm like, wow, we've done it, gang, every time.
Yeah. I mean, when we and this also goes back to the Kickstarter too, right? Like when we were first putting together the plan, we were like, man, I really hope the Kickstarter does well enough that we can actually bring people on to like, help finish these. Cause like we know our initial plan of the 75K was like, we know we can finish it with that amount, right?
Yeah.
But thanks to you guys, we were able to ensure that we could bring people like DJ and Max and all these animators back into the fold to make sure that these episodes not only get finished, but look badass. And I can't wait for you all to see the final episode of Joker vs. Giorno, which will be airing this upcoming weekend. That'll be Sunday, October 27th.
Mark your calendars. Tune into the premiere. Spread the word.
Yes. We premiere episodes at noon on Sunday nowadays. So yeah, noon Central. So yeah. Hope to see
This
you
one
guys
unfortunately will not be in Dallas. Tragically. I lobbied hard for that one.
Oh,
I think my main thing
every single episode we make is there in Dallas first.
We made 5 episodes.
I mean, honestly, if we could find like a cool venue here locally, I wouldn't like 100 venues. That would be fun.
Yeah. Liam, you were saying something though?
I was gonna say my main thing for this fight that I really wanted to fit in was Joker's neutral special, which is gun, which is that he has a gun.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
That was the big one. That's a meme that's a Smash Brothers meme for the guys that you don't know.
Yep.
Is this gonna get you into JoJo? Are you gonna finally watch JoJo beyond the scene of Jolene in the prison?
Oh yeah, maybe if I can find time. I'm interested in it, but
I need to catch up.
It's such a weird,
very good.
So back to the debate. V with a big super chat brought up a very good question and said, I would like to know how these guys have been defeated. That would affect my vote. And I was like, that is a very, very good thing. So I would like to know as well.
Yeah. Dormammu is usually defeated by Doctor Strange through trickery. Doctor Strange's like biggest ability, I would say, as a sorcerer, is his intelligence and his ability to outsmart people. And he usually cannot defeat Dormammu outright with like magical might because Dormammu's too strong. So he usually tricks him. But you know, at the same time, Dormammu also, when he fights beings like Eternity, and when he fights beings like Odin and other powerful entities, is also a trickster. So it's not necessarily Dormammu is dumb or easily taken advantage of. It's impressive for Doctor Strange.
So it's always he's never been like overpowered by something.
So I actually have not read all of the Dormammu issues. So he's been overpowered. I would say that like if you're a Marvel like powerful god being, you've fought under god being and been overpowered at one point. But it's rare. He's not going to be overpowered lightly because he is. I haven't even gotten to some of the highest strength feats, but he's really fucking strong.
I mean, has he even fought? I wonder who he's even fought outside of people like Doctor Strange.
Man, he actually was able to overpower Batman. But it was
wow.
Yeah. No,
what an impressive feat.
Peak human.
Let me address the list. He is peak human. He's defeated Eternity. He's defeated Multi-Eternity as well. And Multi-Eternity is every Eternity for the entire Marvel multiverse, and then he absorbed his power. He's defeated Phoenix Force users. He was stated to be capable of defeating the entire Celestial race. So the Celestials are like those big, like robot-looking dudes that like create universes and stuff.
Yeah.
He's capable of being easily able to defeat those. He's killed all of there was one alternate timeline where he just invaded Earth and just killed fucking everybody, just depopulated all of it. He was also able to one-shot his sister Umar, who's stated to be, she's nearly as powerful as him, so on the face of it, not that impressive, until you realize that she had a magical spell artifact thing called the Flames of Regency, which were like, it was like a spell powerful enough to consume all of reality. And he was powerful enough to defeat her in like one hit. So powerful enough to like that level, that scale. And of course, you know, stronger than Mephisto, who was able to like stalemate Galactus. He's strong as fuck.
All right. And the chat is backing us up with some stuff. So he was overpowered by Strange using Ghost Rider's powers. So the hybrid there. And then the Emulator and Mud both say that Galactus absorbed Dormammu's magic and then ate him or beat him.
There's an interesting just paragraph here on his wiki that I'd like to read. Strange, at the time weakened without support from the principalities, confronts Dormammu with his allies Clea, the Silver Surfer, Hulk, and Ghost Rider, but they are unable to cause any injury to the villain. They just can't hurt him. Strange journeys in the core of Dormammu's essence and uses the Eye of Agamotto to strip away his self-delusion and make him acknowledge that his thirst for chaos, power, and conquest are unworthy of a being of his stature. Dormammu is momentarily shaken, appears to be defeated, but it's only a mirage. The villain gloats that he has not shown 1/10 of his true power against the heroes, but then now he does realize that rulership of one puny universe is beneath his notice, and so he leaves. That's how they beat him. They go, hey, we're too small. We are so small. We don't matter to you.
His sister also can get his goat. That's one of his biggest weaknesses, is that he's kind of like, he wants for a Hell Lord, he kind of does want like a meaningful relationship with his sister, and Umar is just like totally fucking cold. So she's like, I love you, brother, and he's like, really? And she's like, yeah, fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
Poor Dormammu.
Okay, so Trigon can get in his head because he's able to sense like across like all realities and things like that. You think he'd probably be able to like pull some, and he loves to make people suffer. Think you could maybe do make an image of his sister and
like fucking funny.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny him.
Dormammu's weakness is sister.
Trigon is like has a lot of stuff involving illusions, so that's not without like outside of his realm by any means.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, Joe Ferry, longtime supporter with the super chat. His birthday was on October 3rd when we had our premiere. Happy birthday, Joe.
All right, I'm gonna get the poll up, but as I'm writing this, let's get the final statements from you guys. Let's start with Liam. Final statements for Dormammu. Anything you haven't talked about and you want to make sure is
I just think that like Dormammu benefits from having more appearances in Marvel. So he's fought more higher level beings. Trigon is extremely powerful, and you can make arguments that they're like somewhat comparable, but he just doesn't have the same level of showing as Dormammu has. I think Dormammu is consistently more powerful. I think that he has a wider range of magical abilities. And I think that his ability to merge with like merge and absorb other magical, like godlike entities and other realities and even other timeline versions of himself to like fusion dance and make himself more powerful. I think that I think that would give him a big edge over Spectre in the long run. I think he's just going to be able to gain more and more power and eventually overpower. Sorry, not the Spectre, Trigon. Eventually overpower Trigon.
Yeah.
okay. And what about Trigon, Sam?
This is a Death Battle cast argument, not a Death Battle argument. Let's get that straight first. But
Okay.
they're top level, they're top power beings of the Marvel and the DC universe, and Trigon's from the DC universe. Like the Justice League has to try and banish him, not defeat him, right? Like, I know there's some recent stuff, like a very like a couple weeks ago comic that I don't want to talk about and spoil for people because it came out 2 weeks ago. That involves Trigon and Teen Titans and the Justice League all together. But yeah, like, I mean, that's the thing. Trigon shows up and you need the Teen Titans and the Justice League to try and banish him.
I love the play of DC is generally more overpowered than Marvel. So like,
I'll go ahead and say, you know why? Because it's got worse writing.
it's true.
I'm not defending it.
100%.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I've got the poll going up right now. Chad, what are you thinking?
I'm so glad that it doesn't come to our votes anymore because the chat has to decide this.
I don't know how I would vote
in
on
my
this
mind.
one,
This
really.
is this Trigon's like sucking souls, and Dormammu's merging, so it's like the merge versus suck, and whichever one wins. And I don't know.
Faster than he merges, or they.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably, but
I really have no honest to God idea. They're both so unbelievably powerful and intangible and ridiculous. So I don't know.
Well, all right. I also don't know. I have no idea how to approach this. This feels like it's definitely a matchup that doesn't necessarily you can't figure it out from just an hour on a cast. If we're gonna do a death battle on this would be a very intense, like long discussion. This could be one of those longer episodes where we really dive into some like crazy stuff, or it could come down to who reality warps better.
Yeah.
who is the more reality warpiest of the two?
And Banana says Trigon specifically not shown because having his power truly exposed would be an instant loss for his enemies, which is not good story progression.
I am leaning towards Dormammu just because of the level of power we've been talking about and the fact that he is his own sort of dimension and controls that element of magic. But that's such a vague, like kind of nebulous concept, at least at the moment for me, that I don't know if that necessarily like matches up power wise.
Yeah. We could find some Trigon panel or something. It's just like, I have mastery over all magic in reality or something. And then it's like, oh, how does that affect Dormammu since he's made of magic?
So we've done a few of these battles in the past couple years where things got like really out of control in terms of galactic, multi-universal reality destruction stuff. So let us know if you think this would be a fun episode for us to explore in the actual death battle. In the meantime, get your votes in. I mean, votes in.
I will say, just for a final one here, like Dormammu has been maybe not beaten, but bested by Doctor Strange multiple times. There's never been a single account where like Superman has beat Trigon. Just saying.
What about Dr. Fate? Has Dr. Fate ever just been like, Trigon, you're done?
Dr. Fate doesn't really interact with Trigon.
Yeah.
It's not the Raven has beaten has beaten Trigon. There you
Raven
go. There's the
has
comparison.
Raven with the entire, like, essentially, is it the Azareths? Those are the people that, like, they originally banished their evil, which is what creates Trigon. They've, like, Raven being on Earth is almost like a big booby trap for them to end up trying to defeat Trigon, right? Like, that's
Trigon
kind of
doesn't show up as much. When Trigon shows up, it's because Raven has a storyline.
Yeah.
He's not like the main
He only
villain
shows up,
for
it's 'cause
anything
it's-
other than Raven.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
is interesting. But yeah, like, Raven
They're
is
just
the
trying to
only
name
thing.
drop Superman as many times as possible. Like,
It's true. Raven is the only thing that really ever comes into play because of story, because of plot, that banishes Trigon.
Let's go ahead and wrap up these votes. Also, if you missed the sneak peek, we will be showing it at the very end of the cast. So get ready to see that. Or if you just want to stick around and watch it again, we'll share it with you. In the meantime, just a quick reminder, as Sam mentioned earlier in the cast, hey, we do have a fireside chat for champions coming back. We are going to do that tomorrow. That'll be Wednesday. And we're going to be doing that
5 p.m.
in the evening.
Central.
5 p.m. Central, yes.
Nice.
So champions, be sure to come join us at the Death Battle YouTube channel, 5 p.m. Central tomorrow, and let's just hang out. It's been a while since we've had a fireside chat. I'm looking forward to just chilling with you guys. Yeah. Also, of course, as you are voting here, keep in mind early voting has started. If you're in the U.S., has started. So in a lot of different states and is coming up. So go ahead and get your VORs in there as well.
God, stop with that.
What?
I'm probably gonna go knock mine out here later after this.
Skeletober!
Oh fuck! Really need to get one of these Elgatos or something.
Yeah, you need that. Yeah, you got
the
the Skeletober button,
though.
man.
Yeah, just mashing it
on the stream deck. Yeah. All right. Yes. So fireside chat tomorrow. We hope to see you all there. So let's go ahead and wrap up this poll with 58% of the vote going to Dormammu, whose kid is named Doyle, and therefore 42% going to Trigon, who voted another Trigon. Thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of Death Metal Cast. We'll have more information for you later on in Joker vs. Jorno, maybe, if you join us in the fireside chat tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's check out that sneak peek one more time. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for the super chat. We did talk about that earlier.
See you next week.
Okay.
Skeletober! Fuck.
Gold experience!
Go, are set! Jorno Giovanna, your heart is twisted. It is ours to take.
Shoki Fantasmi. My dreams aren't yours to take.
Persona! He'll never see it coming.
Or feel the truth.